Follow my lead. We're good. This is not a typical talk show. It's just a conversation.
Oui.
Yeah. So let's see what's happening. I don't have any evidence that we're on yet. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, we're online. Everything's online. Welcome, everybody. It's our third show of the day, Four Powerful Divine Feminines. This is the second one I have never met before, but we're going to get to know each other in typical soulogy fashion in front of all of our brothers and sisters. We'll be right back after the intro. Just give us about a minute and 19 seconds, and if these shows resonate with you, please share, because we're getting hammered on social media, suppressed, and also I want to thank everybody for your continued love and support and contributions. Allow us to keep doing this by the seat of our pants every day. And that's not a complaint. That's just the way the 5D works. Be right back. How's it going, everybody? We got a new friend in the house, Alessandra, and I'll leave it at that because I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. Denise Chadwick says you were in her thoughts today, and now she knows why.
She was in my thoughts too, actually.
Is that right? Where are you at? Are you in the States?
I am in Chicago right now.
Chicago,
yes.
Like my third favorite city. I lived there in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
it was very fun in the 90s, just saying.
Yes, it was. It was very fun for me. And if I hadn't left there, I probably would have never made it. I probably would have come out in a box.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, very, very powerful place, too. I look forward to getting back over there soon, and sometime soon. So I don't know a lot about you. We've never met, but that's not out of the ordinary on this show. So my go-to question is, when did you wake up?
That's a multi-part question, so I'm going to try to figure out which is most appropriate now. Sorry, I'm trying to think. Okay, I had a wake-up call when I was 25 years old. I had a relationship with a narcissist. He stole money from my sister. A lot of bad stuff happened. So at 25, I thought, how could I let that happen to me? I don't want to live by default. I want to live by consciously building my life and making decisions, the right kind of decisions. So at 25, I started listening to Abraham Hicks. There was a 30-day program, Change Your Day, and Change Your Whole Life. So I did a lot of those. I also have to mention, shout out to my mom and my family, because we are fourth generation weird. So that's part of the awakening.
Gypsies.
Gypsies, yes.
Yeah.
And then there was another part to that awakening. At 25, I just started doing energy healing on people because I was around other happy hippies that were doing this stuff. So it felt natural for me. And then the final part, just to keep it short, is I literally had a book fall in my hands. And of course, it was about Arcturians that I thought were like, oh, these are store fairies. It makes total sense. So that's it.
So you had something that a lot of the people that are watching this show and in these communities didn't have, which was the support of the family.
Yes.
Which is very cool. Well, we've had people on here where they've had, the generational thing going. But so this happened to you at 25. What was that, like 4 years ago?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
And so you just started doing healing on people, just intuitively, instinctively?
So this is what happened. I started going to Reiki circles. Again, I was fourth generation weird. My mother was doing yoga and meditation, even though she is Christian. She's follows Paramahansa Yogananda, Edgar Cayce. So again, at 25, it was normal for me to be around energy healing circles. So the story goes that I just entered a Reiki circle and it was time for people to switch. Healers receive and other people, da da da. So I just started moving, like my hands were moving, like I knew what I was doing. And other people say, you're a really good healer. You're like my master healer. I'm like, yes, I am. I was like, just play the game, see where it goes.
Now, were you getting any direction from infinite intelligence, like star family or elementals or divine essences or anything like that?
Yeah, you mean when my hands were moving?
Well, then or even after that, or any type of guidance, any type of communication going on like that.
Yeah, because I'm an artist, and so I was always painting things that would come to life, and I feel like I wasn't doing that. So I would say that my first form of channeling was drawing things, and I'll be like, oh, who are you? You're very interesting. Like I didn't think of drawing a star fairy with giant eyes, and I would feel a lot of blessings from them. Like my first drawings were like fairies, if I can do it like this, like transmitting. It was almost like a galactic greeting of I'm a healer, you're a healer.
Well, you definitely have. You mentioned star fairies twice.
Yeah.
I've not heard that term before. What is a star fairy?
I really want to put it in a nutshell because it's a newer term for me, even though I've used it a lot. I think in a nutshell, I think a lot of us, everybody's equal and we're all one. We might all have different roles to play. My feeling is we're at a junction now. Earth is obviously ascending, but I think the word star fairy might be a substrata of starseed in that, I'm trying to say it in the right way. The concept of a star fairy, let's say that an Arcturian is a star fairy because they are intimately connected with their planet and they have ascended with their planet. Okay. Other aliens or star beings might have not ascended with their planet and it might have exploded it. So star fairy means I'm here to connect with the ecosystem and reconnect everybody so that we can ascend together with Mother Earth.
I like that. Very good explanation.
That was so hard to bring it so small.
So what are the loudest voices or the most frequent faces of the universe that you connect to? Or is it just whatever comes?
I'll give you a short list, but it started off with the Arcturians. First of all, it was always fairies, Arcturians, then Antares, brightest star of the Scorpio constellation. They're mantis beings, very in touch with the dark, but how to transmute it. But ultimately, I've settled right now. First of all, I love everybody, and I can't bring it to just channel one frequency. It's crystals and fairies and trees, tree wisdom, Lady Venus. But the ultimate place where I'm standing right now is Aldebaran, a crystal plasma stargate.
Okay, hold it right there. Hold it right there. I've only had like 2 people mention this in 2,000 shows. And Aldebaran has been in my face since about 2018. And there's some things that I've picked up from it. I don't get it all right now. But what can you tell me about Aldebaran? What can you tell us about that?
Okay, in regular astronomy, if I'm going to say this correct, in regular astronomy, when people have to measure the galactic plane of where the Earth is in her rotational spin in the galaxy, to measure the galactic plane, you have Antares and Aldebaran. So they are literally equatorial markers of the galactic plane. So that shows you that they are, and I'll drop Antares for now, but Aldebaran is like an outpost. And it wants to bring in frequencies. So 26,000 years ago, Earth went into quarantine because dark frequencies were descending and we needed to incorporate all of this. Now that the floodgates are opening up, Aldebaran is one of the biggest stargates that's bringing in ancient frequencies to recharge us because we're lacking. We were supposed to be recharged by plugging into the ecosystem, but we failed that. And so we're getting these new it's new and ancient. So it's to recharge us. And it's not to say it's not just one galactic system. It's saying it's reflecting back to us what we are and what we could be, potential of where we're going, and gathering ancient frequencies that we've forgotten.
Right, right. Is there a particular, and I'll get off the subject, but because this is kind of a selfish thing for me to be asking this stuff, but then again, I guess there's no coincidences. Is there a particular color that you associate with Aldebaran?
Yeah, but it's my filter. It's so cool that you're asking that. I'm obsessed with this.
Ah.
This, because the idea it's rainbow, so it has everything, and it's silver or platinum.
Yeah.
So it also works with the platinum rainbow ray.
Yeah.
And I don't know what all of this means, but it's including everything and everyone, just bringing it all back.
Right. And then you mentioned Antares, and Antares has crept in pretty much the same time period, but it actually has kind of crept into my field over the last few days.
Oh.
I didn't know there was a mantis connection, but the mantis has kind of followed the same suit. Like, I know they're there, that consciousness is there. I know they've come in a few times. A couple of years ago, I remember a couple of incidents. What I got was an extremely high intelligence, extremely powerful, very, very, I want to use the word ascended, very, very ascended is what I got from it. What can you tell us about Antares?
I'll show a picture. This is one of my guides. She is from Antares, and she's showing that she's a mantis being a bit, but again, it all looks different. I think she has crystals in her head space. So she calls herself a heart frequency artist, and she brings me, or any of us, to the temple of Artemisia. It's a womb space, crystalline space, and she's there to work with the inner child, but it always comes down to darkness, like in a shamanic way. It's the things,
like the goddess Kali.
Yes, yes.
That's
yes.
what I got too.
Also, they're connected to lion beings. I feel like they rehabilitated the darkness that was tired of being dark.
Yeah.
And so then we're working as allies because on Earth we're working through it in a big time. And there's a cosmic drama, as you and everybody knows, and we're tying the loose ends of major galactic drama.
That's right. We're at the epicenter of it, and we're by our efforts affecting all timelines and dimensions. No doubt about that. Very cool. So what you're talking about a lot of different things here. What is I know you're an energy practitioner. What are your specialties? What are your purposes, do you feel?
Oh, okay. I would love to, when I'm working with people energetically or semi-presenting, I have all these instruments, and my feeling is if I can get anybody and we can play together, that my huge team to work through me, and if I would love people to experience the magic that's in all of us. We're all magic, we're all powerful. And I would love to, if I can, or if it's allowed, meaning if it's in the person's highest interest, that their major extrasensory abilities come back online and their multidimensional self gets to come back online. And that can be very big. And when do we have space to be our full freaky selves, and freaky in a good way? So I like to say is, what is your secret soul identity? Because we need to bring it on. I think we want to be bigger. It's time to be bigger. And a space like what you're offering is, then we can,
So you're like you assist others to open up to their greater selves. Yes,
and also there's specific ways. So I coined the term galactic shamanism. I know there's other people doing all this beautiful work too. If a person comes to me with an issue, then the guides present the past life, whether it's on Earth or in other star systems, and then we harmonize that. We make friends with that dark spot, and then there's a whole access, a whole floodgate to that talent. So let's just say that the person was a warrior on Orion, and they might have had all sort of implants on their warrior robotic self. Well, if we do energy healing, all these blocks can come out, and then they have access to when they were shamans in other dimensional places. So these talents get to flood in. The trick is harmonizing it, right?
Yeah, I like that word. That word sounds better to me than balancing. Nothing wrong with balancing, but I like the harmonizing. That's so you're actually pulling up or assisting them in pulling up attributes, really experiences, attributes, and then assisting them to utilize those attributes as well.
Yeah, I can give you an example. So I feel like since I'm non-denominational, it's like we want it all, all the good stuff, right? So I feel like I'm a frequency weaver. I go out and capture a lot of frequencies, Arcturian or other ones or beyond, or crystalline beings. I have them almost like I'm holding a bunch of strings and there's balloons out there, and then I hand it over and somebody might say, I don't want all that other stuff, but I'm really gravitating towards this specific one. That's the puzzle piece that I need now.
I'm curious with your experience and what you have interfaced with. What's your take on what's going on?
Oh, you mean I call it up?
Yeah, and that can be kind of a double entendre. It's like what's going on in the real reality and what's going on as we look at this collective experience, this collective hologram.
Well, I call it the zombie apocalypse, and we've been I believe we're all programmed, or Earth is like heaven and hell all in one place. So it feels like the part of us that's a zombie needs to wake up, and we can be zombie in hundreds of areas of our life. So we know all the negative stuff. We know the conspiracy theories. I think all of the ones that I've heard are things that I agree with. And like, yes, all of that stuff. But I think we need the good news network. Somebody from Antares saying, and the good news is, and so the way I see the good news is, there was a reason, or there is a reason for a lot of us to be quarantined and in place. The reason is that there's a huge erratic floodgate potential, huge light that is coming in. And if we would have been acting normal, we would have been driving cars drunk from the light and smashing into each other, and there would have been a whole other kind of chaos. So I also think that the darkness, whatever we want to call that, is multi-layers, is taking credit for what's going on and adding their spin to make it bigger, because they're like the behind the curtain Oz, and they're going ooga, ooga, ooga. And really it's like but really it's really good stuff. So while I can oscillate between having mental breakdowns and huddling in fetal position and having my neurotic issues, then I again get really high really fast, and things are manifesting really fast for me. So there's a lot of good stuff that's happening.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you what you said about the dark, or what we call the dark, or whatever you want to call it, are aspects that are playing that role, trying to enhance it or hang on, almost like an egoic part of them trying to hang on to what they had, knowing what's coming. I mean, how do you fight Mother Nature in the universe? Yeah. So now you made mention of how you interact in your sessions, be they groups, I guess, or individuals, and you utilize these instruments. Can you give us a taste? I mean,
yes.
We can do this a couple of times before the hour's up. I mean, but like.
I'm sorry if I don't know the answer, but do you do light language, or do you improvise stuff too? You do?
I can, yes. I mean, I don't typically do.
You don't want to play?
I tell you what, I'm open.
Okay. All right. So
now
I don't know.
We're talking light language, lyrical. What do you want? Anything?
I don't know. Whatever we are to do right now, we'll be doing it.
Okay, I'm with you on this. I've shown my ass plenty of times on this program, so I guess one more time won't hurt anything.
So I'm going to bring in the drum, and in this moment in time, it's I like to say it beats things into submission, and obviously those things are what we want to get rid of. And it's for us in the collective, but all with ease and grace. We don't want to overload ourselves. And I'm warning everybody, it might be a few seconds of drum, and I might bring in the crystal harp. So just letting you know.
All right. Last time I did this was to a drum.
Let's get the crystal frequency into. Unai katai ko hono kahana kai. Urupuno. Kayo no hone nehe kenei tisi tuku koina ya.
Yeah, crown chakra. May I and knife. No, let me find this one. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the crystal harp as the next thing.
I just got a heartgasm.
Yeah. That crystal bowl cuts through the bullshit.
Yeah, thank God it was the heart, not the sacral. I would have needed a diaper.
I feel the same way with that harp.
Yeah, that was huge. I feel a huge heat.
Yeah.
Far out.
It felt very gentle when I was playing the drum. I could feel a lot of beings. Lately, I see a lot of aboriginals. And you know, the funny thing is, I see them, but I have a feeling that they're like 50,000 years ago. And I have this weird feeling like they're getting visions and they're seeing me and us doing what we're doing now.
Wow. I've actually had that occur before.
Yeah?
Yeah, it happened on Long Island. I was driving by. Oh, I'm getting yeah, you're on to something. So I was on Long Island. I was passing by Montauk. You know Montauk, where they. Well, anyway, what I ended up getting was all the stuff about time travel and hybridization. It wasn't all fluffy, love, and light, but there was a ceremony, which I would have said was maybe 10,000 years ago. And we were all dancing around this fire.
Yeah.
And there was ancient song coming out, similar to what I just was doing.
Yes, you did something very powerful, ancient.
Yeah. And then a friend of mine from England sends me a note as I've passed through once. and sends me a 1 minute and 5 second audio of her doing this same thing, doing this ancient song.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh my God.
and I could
I'm
actually,
getting,
I could see it. And the reason I remember this is because of what you just said. We were actually doing that ceremony for this time, but we were actually viewing this time at the same time.
yeah, that's, you're explaining it. I just had this vision a few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're good.
I wanted to potentially mention magic and how we're all magical, but how it's also very technical.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I hear other people talking about mitochondria and plasma, and I think they are connected. The mitochondria is sort of shaped like a worm, and it has squiggles inside it. And there's, I don't know, 10,000 mitochondria in one cell. And the mitochondria creates the energy for the cell. The mitochondria also decides if the cell is going to die or not, meaning mitochondria decides if we get cancer or not. I mean, it's a signal. I'm not explaining it well. I'm not a biological person. What's interesting is that, Bruce Lipton, he says that the brain of the cell is the cell membrane. Well, interesting that the cell membrane has a lot of plasma in it. Take it on further, the mitochondria has that squiggle in it. It's like an accordion squished in membrane. So the mitochondria has a bunch of plasma. So I feel like our mitochondria right now are receiving different signals. So let me just use my language. The mitochondria now might be receiving signals through the Aldebaran Stargate, and we're getting more spiritual nutrition. So it's time to bust out.
There you go. There you go. Why do I... No, go ahead. Keep going. I don't want to interrupt you.
I was done. I mean, I can go on. I try to do it in a nutshell.
No. So, mantis. So mantis, the mantis being. Oh, man. So it's like dropping something into my throat.
I think you might need, do you want to say something? Like, I got the drum. You might.
The harp. Do the harp.
Harp. Okay. Something's coming out. All right.
Yeah. I don't normally do this stuff. I only do it when I'm with Morgan. So, okay. So what I'm getting or what I'm seeing is this is all in pure white light. So it's not something we can see on the earth. I mean, it would just look like a big white sheet, So it's like a giant cosmic, I'm trying to think of the word, turbine. Like a big picture, like a big giant multi-faceted fan that just starts, and it has these incredible tones, a lot like the harp. It has these really high-pitched, off-planet tones, like off-planet tones. They're not like tones we hear. And what I'm seeing is like a huge, it would be like a tunnel, and this propulsion from this turbine is, as I understand it, is the vortex. Oh, somebody just said it, vortex. So it's the vortex that we are creating in this moment, because there's a whole bunch of different type of energies. I guess we would say star families, other kingdoms, animal kingdom, elemental. There's a whole, I'm not blowing up here. So there's this huge gathering in this moment, and what's left. And so, as beneath the turbine is okay, like a golden, white, violet light emanating down onto all of us, and it has 4 elements. Oh, no, I got it. It's the 4 elements that we're familiar with, fire, water, and what's happening is as the light's emanating down upon all of us, like we're all gathered around, there's like a huge plasma field that's coming into like a physicality, and it's full of geometry and different colors, and basically what I'm getting from it is that this is like our new playground. Like this vortex, there's others like it, are real, and we're adding frequencies to expand this vibration that we're experiencing. Thank you for letting me share that. I never do this on this show. Yeah, that was very cool.
Wow. As you were saying it, I knew it. So my clair knowing came in. And then as you said it, it's like I got access and I could see it. And that just made me so happy because I've been obsessed with plasma. But as you were bringing it down, it's like, yes. And then there's other vortices. Exactly. So there's so much good stuff that is happening. I like how you explained it. I like the technological info.
I'm just explaining what I was looking at. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what the throat thing was. I think it was like coming in. I don't think it was about the throat in particular, but.
Oh, I thought you were going to channel and then you did.
Well, I guess so, yeah. Right. That's true. Oh my, wow. I knew today was going to be a huge day because we have this, it's not an aberration, but we have this thing that happens with the broadcast. And what will happen is we schedule, and then you look at the schedule and there'll be a particular day that everything lines up. Now, I didn't know you, and I didn't know the beloved sister before, that was on before, but I know Mary Rodwell. Most people know Mary Rodwell. She's on tonight after you. So Pamela Johnson, who I've been trying to get on for 3 years, who's very well known in the community, who's very supportive, very active in the ethers, she decided she was ready to come on it, and I fit her in this morning. So this morning, I open up Facebook, having a coffee, and the first thing I see, she puts up a post about the Ethiopian calendar, and that by virtue of the Ethiopian calendar, today is December the 20th, 2012.
Wow! Whoa!
Right? So and with everything else that I picked up on doing this show and otherwise, there's been something happen this summer where it's like, okay, everything's literally changed now. Everything, people talk about linear to quantum. Yeah. Particularly since Lionsgate, particularly the last few days. Like there was an integration period. I can't really put my finger on it, but the fact that all this stuff lined up and now you come on, the previous show was excellent. I know Mary will be excellent. And powerful day. It's a very powerful day.
Yeah, I don't know how you sustain all this. So I was thinking, oh man, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I know. I've had a lot of people will send me, oh, you need to take a break, but I think it's just in my makeup because of my role. So because it's like sometimes I do a show, lay down, do a show, lay down.
Okay, that's good.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So it's most of the time it's doable, but every now and then I'm pretty off. I feel off, but.
I'm not going to talk about how often I'm off and what degrees of off that
So
happen.
one of the things I love to ask people like yourself, because we're all coming out of this low self-worth, or this, whatever you want to call it, this programming that made us feel like we're this little, not, instead of being gods and goddesses in the skin, in the flesh. But what do you do when you get triggered?
You mean, oh yeah, you're talking about when I get triggered and I'm having a really bad day?
Yeah, you want to beat someone's ass, or punch him in the face. I'm kidding.
When I get triggered, I feel like I'm neurotic, or I can become neurotic. I just don't feel normal at all. I can scream. Usually there's no one around, or if it's a beloved family member, I only lose it when there's people around me. That's usually because I've been trying to be too normal for too much. And I can binge eat and feel disgusting shame and say, fuck it, I'm not going to be normal today, And then binge watch TV. Yeah, it just goes on and on.
There's so much wisdom in that comment, because one of the things I've noticed, I started doing this program in about 2016. And
Whoa.
And so, and I was, I'm learning. I was like, I'm your client. I mean, like every time I come on, I'm basically a client, or something to that effect. But what I've noticed this year is how the raw and the real is really starting to light people up. So to have somebody who's as connected as you are, and we've had them on the show, they'll come in and they're so real. Like they're so aligned with their human, whether they're punching a pillow, whether they're crying, laughing, and that it just lifts me up. And I know it lifts other people up because I'm very aware of the field, especially in regard to the program. But yeah, that's really cool. So at least we know that, because so much of our time we spend, oh my God, she can do that and I can't do it. Like, what's wrong with me?
Oh, I have major anxiety and I don't function normally. I had a boyfriend that I love him. We're not together anymore, but he was a therapist for kids with autism. He says, I swear you're like a kid with autism.
That's a starseed for you. Right? But here's all the...
I just want to share, what really helped me, and it sounds silly. I just read the book, The Empath Survival Guide, and there was so much good stuff in there. It helped me. I don't know what I thought I was, abnormal, which I probably am in many ways, freaking out, having tantrums, having mental illness days. But the book explains it well, all the different ways that empaths that we're having with dealing with the world. And she said that we have an overactive neurological system. Yeah. So see, there's a medical thing for this.
Yeah. I get that. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I think it was private. Yeah, it was somebody. Oh, that a friend had passed through town and we had dinner, and she was talking about boredom. Like I get all this, but I've always struggled with boredom. Like, because my mind is like everything's like moving like and alignment, and I can see this and I can see that, and then we've all done this. You get a download, you get a vision, you see something's you're aligning with, and then you want to go out and make it happen.
Yes.
And in this atmosphere, in this new atmosphere, it doesn't work that way. You have to, that's part of the detachment, is allowing it to happen at its own pace, not in some way you have planned, but in the divine order of everything. But yeah, so I get that. In fact, I had seizures from 15 to 50. I probably had 152 seizures. Wow. As I've gotten into my awakening over the last 9 years, I reflect on it and pull the energy up, and I find some things out. But one of the main things I found out was that I was overloading.
Yes.
Like, the seizure was a way for me to reboot, basically.
Yes. I think I have to share something that I don't want to.
Okay. Well, if you do, I will.
No, that's you. You just shared seizures, so you're off the hook.
Okay.
I couldn't walk for 3 years recently. So when you asked me about an awakening, I had to figure out which was the right one. I couldn't walk for 3 years. I neurologically was breaking down. My knees were swelling up and I was in a wheelchair, and I gained a lot of weight, which wasn't just fat weight gain, it's lymphatic fluid, which is plasma. I had more plasma in my body. I was swelling up with plasma. And I think I don't want to blame channeling for this, because I was also a spazzy person. I was spazzing myself out, trying to be perfectionist and being a one-woman show. So again, I couldn't walk for 3 years. I think the correct term, I have an unofficial diagnosis called myalgic encephalomyelitis. It means the swelling of the brain and the nerves. I don't believe I have it anymore, or not as much. I've now forgot why I'm sharing this.
Was it like a reboot? I mean,
yes, I think it was a reboot. Yes. Yeah. I don't feel comfortable in my skin because I'm still swollen in places.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us, because this is a physical ascension, I just think a lot of us are not comfortable with our own faces and skin because we come from higher dimensional realms, and I think we're beginning to remember it more.
Yeah, I agree with that. And one of the things I understand, however you say that, one of the things that I've been told repeatedly, because I asked this question, why the hell can't I remember just a little bit more? And they tell me, because if you just knew a little bit more, it would blow the whole thing away. Like, in other words, you would be bored. Like, you think you're bored now? You think you have periods of boredom now? No, you would be like, oh my God, get me out of here. Well, what's the point of being here? So it's helped me to come back to a greater understanding and awareness of presence.
Yes. I like that you said that, because there's many times that I want to have more information so I can feel better now. But I know, like you said, if I would know a little bit more, it was like we would be angels floating around. There would be no reason to be in a physical body with physical limitations.
No. That's why our second hashtag is the human is the hero. And if I'm fired up, we have a third one called the human is the fucking hero.
That's good.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of crap for my F-bombs, but now people have been a lot nicer about it in the last couple of years. You're amazing.
Thank you. So, thanks. I had a meltdown yesterday to manage to do this today. Just saying.
What's that?
I had a panic attack yesterday, so this is why I'm calm today. Just saying.
Oh, wow.
Just going with But thank you.
So, and here you are again, too. And part of the reason, one of the big reasons we do this show is because there's so many people that are waking up now by their own admission, not somebody's judgment. This is, what I'm saying. And what they're going through and feeling is what was happening to you, when you were, and me a few years ago. And because there's no linear, it doesn't really matter. And my point is, there is a lot more of a support system now than there was, say, 5-6 years ago. But to hear you say that you have an anxiety attack and you're still connected, you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, we spend so much time pushing away the human parts that there's some kind of deep alchemy activation or something occurs when we bring it into the fold and align it, warts and all, with the rest of our multidimensionality. Yeah.
I've been having a hard time with allowing myself to be human, because I liked to be a warrior woman. I liked to be perfect and badass, and I would ignore when I would do major fuck-ups. But with my panic attack yesterday, that I felt like a major loser. I was just feeling, I was tearing myself apart. But today I felt cleansed, and then I thought, wait a minute, there should be a better way of processing things. You don't have to go through that each time. We can fine tune that a little bit, or a lot. Yeah.
And do you find, because here's another thing that's happening too, which I bet you have a good perspective on. So the practitioners, the healers, and of course we all have a pretty good understanding now that the wounded healer archetype is being put to rest. Thank you for serving us, and so on. But do you find you're able to, let's say, pull up the energy of the issue with your legs, or pull up the energy with the anxiety? Do you find that, do you struggle? Are you able to work on yourself as you do others? Are you still finding your way? Do you use other people, other healers to work with on yourself?
Yeah, I do trades a lot. And for some time I was doing it too much maybe, but what's too much? And I love getting to experience other people's talents in this big field of energy healing or other healing. So I love it. Then I found myself that I was only gravitating towards some trusted healer friends. But I think that having been blessed with the dark night of the soul or the shamanic death of not being able to walk for 3 years and not knowing why. So I was screaming like, what the fuck? Why? Like, why? You know, other people can heal themselves 2 weeks and they're fine. And I'm like, I'm the idiot that took me 3 years or whatever. So, but that really shoved me into, in that moment, just, I had to trust myself. There were so many stories and I think they were all correct, but I had to have my own story. I'm going to tell this to everybody. We have to crack our own code. We can read all the self-help books we want and they can help us, but we got to crack our own code. And so I thought, all right, if I'm magical, I got to believe it. So I put these giant ass crystals by my head. Oh, it feels so good. And I would allow my guides to bring in energy healing, and I can get energy healing through, they can be amplified, and I can bring myself into a different zone, which we all can, but how about let's do it, you know? So, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, this is very cool. Somebody, Angela said such great advice, yeah. So on that note, somebody else said best interview ever. So this is, on that note, with everything that you've experienced and know, if you were put up on the, at the podium and asked to share with your brothers and sisters, what's the best advice you could give us as we move forward from this point, given everything that's going on and everything that's gone on?
Okay, the biggest advice, everybody said it in different words, so I have to say it in my words, is we got to believe that we're magical and that we're dialed in no matter what, and we can pull ourselves through. And so it's that game of, I'm going to tune into my higher self, but is the higher self different or is it me? I don't know, but I'm feeling like a piece of shit right here. So I need my higher self to be more like a guide because I'm not believing myself here, but it's still me. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's part of what we're trying to figure out. For instance, if I talk to some people and they'll say, I tapped into you and I fixed this in you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going, okay, on one hand, I don't know if that's true. But to me, I go, okay, well, if they believe it, that's their deal. And maybe it's a positive, whatever. But for me, I mean, and I'm married to an oracle, shaman, whatever you want, priestess, whatever you want to call it. She won't take any of the names, but she always brings, I just knew, I think innately, but when I met her, it was like, so many times I would say to her, why didn't you just tell me way back then, And she'd say, well, why would I take that away from you?
Yeah.
Because there's something about, and that's what I was getting at, there's something about doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And it's almost like if somebody's doing something for you, they're actually missing something in themselves, which is none of my business. My business is me. But yeah, so when I elevate, usually the first thing I'll do is I'll go to her and say, "Hey, you look different today." When actually it's me that's different, right?
Yeah.
Because I did it, I did it myself. There's something about that. Somebody wants to know, where do you get big ass crystals? In Texas? In Texas.
I was so lucky. I was at I'm going to say it wrong, Tucson Gem Show, and you could this was from Arkansas. But that being said, I bought on eBay. Where can you see it? eBay was like only, I think it was under $100 because I'm that lucky. So.
All right. So I'm in Arkansas, and I haven't gone crystal shopping yet or crystal hunting, but I want to whenever I get some time. So this is awesome, man. You're a breath of fresh air. I feel like I'm talking to my sister.
Oh,
You know, your last name ends in a vowel like mine, so we got that in common.
thanks.
Yeah. Now, are you still in Chicago?
I'm in Chicago. Why do people keep asking me that? I'm in Chicago, but I might be in process of living in Chicago for half the year and the other half year in the wild jungle in some undisclosed place, maybe in South America. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
I spent 10 months in Kauai in late 2018 up until Lionsgate last year.
Wow.
And that's a really cool place because I don't know. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's a very powerful place too. If you're gonna go there, you're gonna get your clock cleaned. I can promise you that. But yeah, that atmosphere, you know, especially over there because there's no snakes. I mean, there's it's just like you can go anywhere in pitch darkness and you're not going to be run into anything, at least earthly, that's going to scare you or anything.
Hawaii was a potential other place that I was going to live, so I might be living in 3 places. So
there you go. There you go. Yeah, far out, man. All right. Well, I'd love to collaborate with you again down the road, and
I would like to hear more light language from you down the road too.
well, since you're the one that pulled it out of me, then I will honor that because you know, for everybody, we all got to walk the talk, and yeah, I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity and the synchronicity. There are no coincidences to do that. How do people find you?
The best way is email, but I have my website, alessandragilioli.com. That's where I do everything, website. But I am also on Facebook under my name. And yeah, and email would be alessandragilioli@gmail.com.
Okay, at Gmail, okay. If you get a chance, you might want to go to Facebook on my page, on my personal page, because that's where most of the traffic is. It's like 110 people, and there's like half of them are in there. There's another 26 in YouTube. But those 2 places are a really good place to drop your links.
Okay.
Because I can tell you, you're going to get some messages from people. I can promise
some
you that.
Friends.
Yeah, some abundance, man. This is what we do.
No, I said friends.
Oh, friends. Oh, you need friends. You need friends. I don't know if that's abundance or, well, blessings are burdens and burdens are blessings, right? The more the days go by, I shouldn't say that. No, all right.
I hear you.
I'm going to decompress from this wonderful, incredible experience. We'll have Mary Rodwell on in what, an hour? And yeah, all blessings to you and yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
And till the next time.
Ciao. Thank you.
All right, peace out.